And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the show of madness that is crazy enough to use big swords to cut tiny newspapers, only known as Under the Radar. And if you're wondering at home, nobody was harmed while Maestro was swinging around that giant Highlander sword he decided to bring in to celebrate this milestone show. And as a matter of fact, I told him not to do it again until we hit another big milestone, unless he's got a sword made out of adamantium, which he says he does. Yikes! Well, besides that adamantium sword that I got a feeling I'm gonna have to see in another 30 episodes, I think it's time for us to check out some screenshots and whatnots from the Twitterers from this past weekend and beyond for another edition of the Four Squared Delight. And the first screenshot that we have up comes from the Twitter page of Win Rose Game, or Game Win Rose, with their said game, Win Rose. And this game with the screenshot that they provided for this week, which shows our hero taking out one bad guy only to just swipe at him again in slow motion and clean off the blood and take out another bad guy all before the screen goes black. And this screenshot that looks like it took place in space, by the way, automatically reminds me of a combination of the 13th Warrior Highlander with a little hint of the Matrix in there as well. And not to mention, I think that's the same sword you used to cut those newspapers, Maestro. And Maestro said no, his is bigger, right? And here's hoping in the near future for this game that not only you get a chance to use different swords to take out your enemies, but also have a special ability with this said sword to actually cleave somebody in two. Because the guy didn't get cleaved in two, and at the same time wish that you could actually knock somebody off the stage as well with these sword attacks. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. You know, I take back the whole cleaving people in half. As long as you're able to uppercut somebody with the sword off the stage, I'm fine with it. And besides taking somebody out with a sword-like uppercut, folks, the next screenshot that we have up comes from the Twitter page of Star Renegades with their said game, Star Renegades. And the screenshot that they provided for this week shows a giant oversized mech assault robot somersaulting his way into battle, only to punch the ground once and then punch the ground again to take out an enemy right in front of him. And this screenshot automatically reminds me of, well, I gotta say Armored Core. Yeah, definitely Armored Core, especially with a giant robot that came to life like this, Armored Core. Or Samurai Jack. Thank you for the example, Maestro. And here's hoping in the near future for this said giant oversized robot that's gonna give you one hell of a fight, is that you can salvage the parts from this robot to make new weapons. Only thing I hope for in the near future, because I already know it's gonna give you a lot of experience once you take it out, but I really do want to salvage the parts from this thing to make a cool sword or a weapon of any type that you could from this creature. And the next game that we have up, or screenshot, comes from the Twitter page of YCJ Games, or YCJY Games, didn't see the Y there, with their said game, Post Void. And this screenshot that they provided for this week, which shows you warping into a weird-looking hallway, only to take out 3 or 4 different guys going down the walkway, only to just warp into a magical forest, pick an upgrade of a shotgun, and just warp into another set of rooms before the screen goes dark. And this screenshot automatically reminds me of, well, I would have to say if Cranked and 13 made a game, this would be it. And here's hoping in the near future for this game, besides having a cool soundtrack, since it's already got a shotgun and you holding on to what appears to be a shrunken head from a voodoo priest. Yeah, only thing I hope for in the near future for this game is a cool soundtrack. because I got a feeling this game's gonna be absolutely insane, and anything I ask for might be available in this game by the next following week. And the next screenshot that we have up, speaking of things that I asked for last week that's in the game for this week, comes from the Twitter page of Last Starfarer, or Starfarer? No, we'll go with the second one, with their said screenshot from the video game Signalis. And the screenshot that they provided for this week shows our heroine actually taking on another one of those weird-looking zombie creatures we mentioned from last week to take him out this week with a nice shotgun blast for it to twitch on the ground and for her to reload and take another shot at it to make sure it's absolutely dead. And this screenshot automatically reminds me of a combination of not only Eon Flux, since the little poster behind her with the door says Eon in the black, but it also reminds me of, once again, Resident Evil Survivor. And here's hoping in the near future that you can upgrade this shotgun to take out the enemies in one shot. Granted, it's a shotgun and it dropped this creature to the ground in one mighty blast, but you had to double tap it. Here's hoping you can upgrade it so you don't have to double tap in this game. Because I got a feeling you're gonna definitely need the bullets for these zombie creatures because they look absolutely creepy. And is that a knife on one of those things' hands? According to the maestro, yes it is. Yikes. And besides knifed hand creatures, probably from another dimension, the last but not least game that we have up for this week comes from the Twitter page of Retail Royale with their said game, Retail Royale. And the screenshot that they provided for this week shows you actually opening up a box in the back area of the storage area of IKEA or whatever store place this is, which according to the maestro is called Nikea. Actually opening up a crate and taking out what appears to be a pickaxe to take out an enemy, for the enemy to try to take you out with a nail gun, for you to pick up a nail gun, shoot him a couple of times, pick up a couple of crates, knock him loopy, tack him with the pickaxe, and then finally finish him off by throwing the nail gun that was empty at his face and walking away like nothing happened, right? And this game automatically reminds me of, well, the Belko experiment. Definitely reminds me of the Belko experiment if it took place in IKEA. And here's hoping in the near future for this game that you can actually go to the front desk in between rounds and actually order a product to take out somebody and then look through the entire warehouse to find out where it is to take somebody out with it. That or a possibility of throwing somebody through one of those giant oversized IKEA tables that I've seen in a magazine. Now, I don't remember the name of it, but I got a feeling the developers do, and if they could add that in the game for you to actually throw somebody over or into or through, would be perfect for me. Only request we have besides what we just said. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out any other screenshots and whatnots from the Twitterverse from this past weekend and beyond yourselves, you can head on over to the screenshot pages of not only Octo Curio, Oliver Snyder's, Indie Rhymes, Playing Indies, Shot_Games, or under the screenshot page of Nomad, or under the hashtag of Screenshot Saturday. But if you guys want to go ahead and check out the screenshots that we liked for this week and get an interpretation of it for yourselves, you can head on over to the Twitter page of one man only known as the 00 Agent 0012, where the maestro was able to make a screenshot folder for this week entitled Iridium Screenshots. And apparently the folder is in a silverish tint, which makes me wonder if the folder is made out of Iridium 2, and since the maestro can lift it, it probably is. How can you lift Iridium? Well, before I get an answer to that question, I think it's time for us to head back into this music, and when we return, we'll be back with another back-breaking, risk-taking edition of the Wild World of Stuns right after this. So So don't touch that dial just yet, folks, and stay tuned.